All right, just got up-ish, and we're headed to the grocery store because Layla needs avocados, and that's just like a little 5-minute walk, but it looks like it's about to rain, so hopefully we don't get caught. We'll see. But yeah, grab a few groceries, come back, eat breakfast, go work out, and then apparently we're going to a 45-year-old soup place for dinner. Okay, never mind. It started raining, and if you know, you know. Here, when it starts raining hard. So, we're gonna skip on the avocado. She said it's fine for today, but yeah, we're gonna let Sophie use the bathroom real quick, and then we'll head back in, make some breakfast, and then head to work out. I'm gonna show you guys my pre-workout routine and my intra-workout drink that I make, and then we're gonna hit a back day, which I think I'm gonna switch up that workout a little bit today too, for the next few weeks, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so as I mentioned in the video, I was going to show you my pre-workout, which is just 2 pump powders. So it's the Christopher Secret Stuff by Raw, and then a scoop of Raw Pump. So I'll mix both of those in a little small glass of water, along with 5 grams of creatine, which I also place in my intro workout. As I mentioned, I was going to show the intro workout as well, but got to talking with Layla. So what I ended up doing was 2 scoops of Raw, 2 electrolyte packets, 1 scoop of creatine, and then I also put 1 extra scoop of pump in that as well, just because it tastes good. And yeah, that's pretty much my pre and intra. Maybe I'll show the intra on video next time, but about to guzzle this pre-workout down here in the video, and then get to training shortly thereafter. All right, y'all. So I realized today, first of all, everything I said I was going to do today, I've like not done it. The only thing I did that I said I was going to do was record my pre-workout, and even then I didn't talk because Layla was talking behind me, so I was like, I'd just do a voiceover. So anyway, you saw the pre-workout. I normally do 2 scoops of pump, 1 scoop of creatine, 5 grams, and yeah, no caffeine. I think the last couple of days I had a sugar-free Red Bull, but typically no caffeine before pre-workout. Not any reason in particular. They just don't have any good pre-workouts here with caffeine in them. I had to order those 2 pump products off of iHerb. So yeah, anyway, mixed up my intro, which I didn't show. It's 2 scoops of Raw, 2 scoops of, it's called Royal D pause electrolyte powder, 1 scoop of creatine, and then 1 more scoop of pump, just for the flavor. So it like kind of makes that big bottle of water taste good throughout the whole thing. So yeah, then I realized today I've recorded 1 back workout the whole time I've been doing the YouTube since I started, like, 20 days ago. And I did it at another gym and not at the gym that I normally train at, which is my home gym. So I'm going to show you guys my back workout here today. Again, I've mentioned this several times, and it's not like a knock or a diss or anything, but this gym doesn't particularly have the type of equipment I would like to use. They have a couple of things that I'm okay with, but for the most part, like this machine that I'm on here wouldn't necessarily be something I'd pick out in a gym full of hammer strength, for example, or Nautilus Explode. So yeah, we make it work. I'm going to show you guys how to make it work. I'm going to show you how I make it work. So yeah, let me go run you through. This probably is going to be maybe my last warm-up set. I've already done 2, but we're going unilateral, so 1 arm at a time, single arm pull downs. And the reason I like this machine is, so we'll kind of get set up here. The reason I like this machine is I am able to slide my hips off of the pad a little bit to the side that I'm biasing. So what I'm saying is, if I'm seated here and I pull down, my elbow would be coming here. And what I want is for my elbow to get as close to my ribs as possible with that arm path. So what I do is I shift myself to the left, right? Left arm, left side in the seat, and then I drive my elbow down and back. And so the thing with this machine is the handle is here, and then the bar curves this way. So kind of like this, around and down. And so what I'm going to have to do whenever I use this is I'm going to have to, I lean to the side anyway to bias the side that I'm using, but I especially have to stay locked in there with this machine. Otherwise I'm leaning in and out of it, or I'm going to hit my head with the bar. So not ideal. I have like actually hit my head with this before. So learned my lesson. But yeah, let's knock out a warm up set and I'll walk you through it. So lean to the left, bias to the left side, big stretch through the lat. You don't have to overstretch to the point where you're popping your shoulder out of place, but you do want to stretch as much as you can through here. Once I finish the end point of the stretch, I'm thinking elbow down and back. See, I almost hit my head. Stretch up, feel that stretch here, elbow down and back, stretch, elbow down and back. 3. Okay, that's probably good. Then we'll show you guys the right side too. So bias the right side, lean to the right, slide off the seat to the right, stretch, feel it through here, elbow down and back. Don't hit my head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So this dude's over here following his nails on the leg press. It's crazy. What I'll do for the next set is I'll show them both from the back working sets. I'm going to go ahead and show both sides back off set as well. That way you can kind of see me biasing, see where my elbow leads. And then what I want you guys to focus on is I'm going to pull my shirt in. Just watch the outer point of my lat and how it shortens. And that's how you know they're squeezing the right thing. Okay. Yeah, I touched 18. I did 3 reps. It felt like it was going to be okay. So we'll see. You know how it goes. Sometimes you feel super confident, and then even just adding 10 pounds kind of makes a huge difference. So yeah, like I said on this set, all the same principles apply. And what I want you guys to focus on, I'm going to try to pull my shirt in tight, and I want you guys to kind of try to see. I wish I'd worn a tighter shirt, but like just watch my lat kind of shorten over to the side, and then watch my elbow drive down to the side, down and back, and stay as close to my rib cage as possible every time that I do a rip. So we're feeling that kind of mid, lower, outer lat every time we squeeze. So good stretch, good squeeze. Going for a PR here. Going to try to hit 10 reps to see it. It's pretty good. It was a little hard to get comfortable, but definitely felt it right where I needed to. Right side, as promised. You can, like on the 5th rep of the last arm, you can hear a little clink like halfway through, and I like busted my headphone. So yeah, like I said, definitely hit my head using this thing. There it is. There's set 2. So this is kind of how progressive overload works. So I was using 17 plates, I think, for like 3 weeks. Then I think I bumped it up to 18 last week, and then today I did 20 plates. So now my back off set, which is my second set with slightly less weight, is 17. So you can look at progressive overload that way, where my top set went from 17, 17, 17, 18, 20. My back off set went from 14, 14, 14, 15, 17. So with the weight that I'm using, I'm progressing each week. Even my back off sets are coming up. Now there's going to be times where it doesn't happen that smoothly or that consistently or cohesively, and that's okay. Eventually you'll get there. You just got to keep chipping away. But what we do is we start with the reps back over. So today 10, if I go 20 plates next week and I get 12 reps, then that's where I'll bump the weight up to 21, which will be maxing out this machine at that point. So same thing here. We're going to shoot to match the reps. And if we get more than 10, 12, 15, we won't be upset about it. But I usually don't bump my back offsets up until my top set goes up. So I'll keep the top set, keep the back offset, and just keep adding reps to it until the top set is ready to go up. So if that makes sense, made sense in my mind, made sense when I was saying it. Hopefully it makes sense in the video. We'll see. But yeah, back offset, left arm. Here we go. That's it. Oh. Oh. I don't even know what I got. 13 on the left, so we'll try to match that. Same principles apply, baby. And then we'll move on. Look at my middle finger. See that front lat popping out? That's what we want. Okay. All right, y'all. So like I said, I'm going to switch up the back day just a little bit. My thinking was my second unilateral exercise, which is typically the hammer row right here, normally doesn't take as long as the first set where I'm warming up and working up into it because I kind of already know what I'm going to do. So it's just quick touches, but it still kind of elongates the process. And what that tends to do for me is, don't get me wrong, I love to train, but I do need to get out of here at a certain point, and it just makes the back day run too long. So, and then two, there's no upper back machine, and I've kind of cycled through things here, and I don't like half of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that for upper back bilateral rows. So, excuse me, 2 arms at a time. So what I'm doing here is I'm bringing back my Smith rows. I'm going to pair these also with the T-bar row. And my thinking is these will kind of tax the rowing spinal loading, if you will. And then when I get there, I won't have to use as heavy as a load. I can do a little bit heavier weight. So yeah, it's kind of redundant, but I want it to be that way because I've been so lat focused for so long with my unilateral exercises. But I want to do a couple of bilateral things today to like really focus more on my mid upper back, and then obviously the first exercise and then the last exercise will be more lat focused. So the 3 in the middle, the meat of the workout, will be mid to upper back. So bent over rows with these, what I'm going to try to do, I typically say a stand up of about 45 to 50 degrees is more than enough. If you're getting up higher than that, I think it's diminishing returns on what you're trying to hit for a bent over row. Theoretically, ideally, you would like to stay all the way over the top, but sometimes that's just not possible because you're not strong enough to do that. But the goal is to get strong enough to do that. So it's okay to stand. I honestly prefer kind of pushing my torso up a little bit. To each his own. I think my back is pretty decent. Maybe it would be better if I stayed all the way over the top. Who knows? This is the way I do it. I'm going to continue to do it. And, I'll still try to hit that proper form every time I do it. It's just that sometimes you won't. So, yeah, I'm going to try to stay as over the top of these as possible. But I'm going to kind of show you guys how I set up. So I normally go hip width apart. just more comfortable for me. I know some people like to do a pretty thin stance. I don't. I don't feel stable. So kind of like my RDLs, a little bit more hip width apart. I take my thumbs from the two inside rings of the Smith. So remember, there's four, right? One at each finger. I take my thumb, measure out, close, and wrap. And then with these, I actually do wrap, but then I also do suicide grip once I get going. So I'll wrap my hands just to kind of hold the bar for a sec. Suicide grip to get the row moving. So from here, what I like to do is I'll take my elbows, lock them back, chest up just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and do kind of like a half deadlift. So I'll go here, row, row, row. One more. Okay, so like I mentioned, trying to stay over the top of it. And then when I'm pulling, I'm thinking about taking my hands and the bar is not going to move back because it's on a fixed path, but I'm thinking about driving into myself and up, into myself and up every time that I row. Uh, and man, like the pump, I've done 2 warm-up sets and I'm already feeling it pretty good on my outer lat. So what we're going to hope for here, I'm going to touch a 25 on each side and then, excuse me, wow, we'll do 3 plates and see where that leaves us. I think I've done 3 plates for 12 reps before, but it's been a while since we've done these. So if I end up somewhere around 8 or 9 with good form, I'll be pretty damn happy. So okay, so this is going to be an example of my toxicity, right? This is not to say that you can't go up on your next set. Like, you know, I've done sessions where I pyramid the weight up and the reps come down, so they decrease as my weight increases. And so this will just be an example of that in a way, in a very small scale. So the 3 plates, it looked like I stayed about where I wanted to the whole time for 16 reps. So my thinking is, if I can stay locked in and get even 6 or 7 decently clean ones here with heavier weight, what we'll do next week is just swap the weights. So I'll go here with my top set, back off to 3 plates as opposed to go 3 plates and then 3 1/4. So yeah, kind of scared. I don't think I've ever done this much on here. So then again, there's the toxicity of jumping up a lot of weight too. I've never done this weight, I don't think, and the most I did was like 10 and a 5. So okay, so exercise 3, like I mentioned, this was my second exercise the last few weeks, but instead I like subbed in the Smith bent over row back into the equation as exercise 2. So exercise 3 here, it's going to be like a more mid back focus. So I've done these before with my feet close on the platform, where close up to the top of the platform, where when I pull, the bar kind of comes and hits like my hip section around the pelvis area, and that kind of gets more of like my lower lat as opposed to mid or upper back for me, mainly because I'm keeping my elbows tight and driving against my rib with my elbows back. But here, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to think 45 degrees with my elbows. I want to feel my mid back and lats working. So kind of like that section directly under your scapula, you want to feel that working here. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to put them. Normally, I would do middle finger right on this bend. I'm going to go just a little bit outside of that to where I have a 45-degree angle with my hands. it'll just make it easier to keep the elbows 45 degrees as well and everything in alignment. So um, already done 2 warm-up sets. I'm going to add some weight on here, and hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Typically what I tell people is wherever your elbows end up is what part of your back you're usually working. So here, rear delts, right, directly in line with my rear delt, a little bit lower, upper back, 45 degree mid back, and then all the way down to the bottom tucked in against the ribs is going to be lats. So you can bias it different ways on different machines, but that's a pretty good rule of thumb to remember moving forward. So okay, so I mentioned this kind of on the outset of the training session that kind of my thinking was putting this next because doing the bent over Smith first would kind of tax my body, which means I will use less weight here. And the problem I have with this machine is just staying into the exercise. It's really hard to stay over the top because it kind of pulls you in and out of it. It's hard to balance, but putting it third seems to help quite a bit. And we'll see with the saddest weight if we can keep it stable. So like I said, 45-degree angle with the elbows, driving up. All the same principles as over there apply. Just trying to hit the mid back here and squeeze upward toward the ceiling. So let's see if we can knock out 10 to 12. Another benefit of the lowered weight is I want to spend a little bit more time in the squeeze, and that should be extremely possible with this weight. So we'll do that way. Okay, that last set was probably a little bit easy for what I needed, but what we'll do is instead of going up, we'll keep it with the back off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do try to match the reps, which I think was like 12. And then we'll finish off with a Pendlay style row, or Pendley, whatever, Pend lay. And basically what you'll do is you'll stay all the way over the top of those, basically 90 degrees with the torso parallel to the floor or to the platform. And then you're just going to touch the weight down every time to resting like it is now, and then squeeze up from there. But the point of this is when you hit the bottom, it's not to relax and then pull back into it. It's to try to stay tight, pull, drop, pull, drop. That way there's no tension lost throughout the whole thing. This dude did it rack his weights. That's crazy. All right. And how you going to have 15 kilograms per side as a grown man on a leg press and not rack it? That's crazy. Look at this. Garbage. All right, so I'm sure in the video my hand gestures are going to be way different than what I'm actually saying right now. I think I had done that first set after I did a reel for Instagram, like a reel tutorial for Instagram, so I kind of forgot to explain everything. And so what I think I'm saying here is just that whenever I do an upper back focused row like I'm about to do here on this Hammer ISO machine, I like to think about my elbows being up high, almost in like a 75, 70 to 80 degree bend range. And so what that means is just if my elbow is tucked all the way down to my rib, that'd be 0, flared out 45, 45, and then all the way up, even with my shoulders, would be 90. So I want to be just below
a right angle with my elbows and torso. So slightly bent down, flared out with the elbows. And so with this particular machine, what I did was I set the seat a little bit lower than I normally do than I would for a lat biased row. The reason I do the seat so high is because it keeps it easier to keep my elbows up and doesn't allow them to bend. So I'm demonstrating here that if I had the seat up higher, it would kind of force me to pull my elbows super high and back, and I wouldn't get as good of a squeeze down and back with my upper back as I would like I'm showing you there. So yeah, what I do is normally a little bit outside shoulder width grip with this particular row. And then what I'll do is I'll sit down, I'll peel my chest off of the pad just a little bit, so that way I can really retract my shoulder blades and get a good squeeze. And I try to drive my elbows down and back. And you see there, I've got a pretty good drop in the elbow. So down from my shoulder to my elbow. And then the angle between my elbow and my rib cage and torso is probably about 70 to 80 degree bend. And so, yeah, just trying to get good 10 squeeze reps here. And then I banged out 5 fast ones at the end just to get that pump and get that number that I was trying to hit for this particular exercise. So yeah, good upper back focused row, get a good squeeze every time and feel that work.
Okay, we're gonna redo this because my microphone like disconnected somehow. So yeah, I was saying down here you have the platforms. You're not going to be able to see it whenever I do the exercise, but basically those are the two you use to step up onto the knee pad. So yeah, check this out. This is how you do some assisted pull-ups properly. So basically on this machine, a good rule of thumb, very non-nuanced way to look at it, because I'm sure it's a lot more scientific than this, but this is a counterbalance. The weight that you put on there is subtracting from the weight that you are. So if I weigh 220 and I've got 130 on there, in theory, I'm lifting 90 pounds. 220 minus 130 equals 90. So yeah, that's just how you look at this. But anyway, foot platform, step on, both feet. Go ahead, set your hands. So I always tell people index finger, middle finger about where the bar starts to bend on each side. You're going to take one knee, place it firmly on the knee pad, and allow that to drop down while you keep a good grip on the handles, and then place your second knee on the pad. Now you're going to think about driving your elbows down, chest up, and then squeeze and stretch every time you do a rep. And we're just going to try to get 12 reps out of this. Now notice how I'm not allowing, right, this to like kick my torso up or my knees up. I'm keeping everything straight, and then just using my elbows to drive down and then stretch up. So stretch up, drive down. That's up, 2 more. 1 more. I got really hard. Okay, so to unmount or dismount 1 foot on the platform, knee lets the weight come up, and then you can step off. Boom.
Yeah, so decided to hit a little posing here after the workout. Had to go out in the hall. It was hot there anyway, so got to get a little sweat in. Hit a quick little rear lat spread and a back double bicep for you guys. Could have done it in the afternoon, but it was kind of crowded in there and didn't want to have a camera recording everybody and their bits hanging out. So yeah, got it done in the hallway. Not too bad if I say so myself. All right, so I just called a bike. I did not have time to shower because Layla just got out of Zumba, so we're gonna meet at Emporium, Importier. I don't even know. I live in Arkansas for 10 years. I don't even know where anything is there. I know where Kroger is, Walmart is, the gym, and then home. So like, you know, whatever. But we're gonna head there, grab some dinner, and I think we're going to like, it's called Jones Salad, which I'm pretty sure is a chain. But Layla wanted something a little bit cleaner tonight, so we'll see what I get because I'm chunky. I don't care about clean. So yeah. So yeah, our apartment's in a pretty nice area, but the traffic is crazy. It would stress me out for real. And then they've got like a little CrossFit gym here. Literally wake us up like every Sunday, dropping barbells like maniacs. But yeah, I think this is my bike. Cool, we made it. I'll show you the outside again. I know if you've watched the last videos, you probably have seen it 100 times because we come here all the time. It's just a very easy dinner that's close by that we can grab whenever I have things to do. So tonight I've got a therapy session. I've got to do some QuickBooks stuff on my computer on my laptop. So it's just a lot easier to come get something quick. The bike to get here, especially during traffic, probably takes about 10 minutes. But then, you know, the ride back about the same. So it's a very quick, efficient thing to do whenever we're kind of pinched for time, which is usually my fault. So yeah, so there's the outside. Like I said, I've shown it probably 2 or 3 times in my videos. But yeah, all the taxis and bikes and cars pull up here to pick up their people using Grab and whatever else. We normally just use Grab, but yep. There's the queen. Slow as can be. She's oblivious. I bet she doesn't even notice me. Oh, she did. So we're trying a new to us place because we normally eat the same thing over and over. Germ salad. And they have lots of salads and wraps and healthy stuff and smoothies and juices and stuff. So it doesn't say what comes in each one, so I'm gonna Google what I might get and see what I pick. All right, so Layla got a Viking salmon poke bowl, and I got a Mexicana wrap and a grilled Caesar wrap, and they were pretty good. As you can see, we wiped all that food out. And of course, anytime we're at M. Courtier, it's a good excuse for Layla to get a sugar-free ice cream. But it's nice and small, so it's not overdoing it at all. Quick trip to the grocery store before heading home. Grabbing that bike, there's Layla ahead of me. Alright, I almost forgot to film, but I'm here at Starbucks. Not my favorite one, but the next favorite one. This one's a little closer to the house apartment, but yeah, just got done with the therapy session with my therapist, Darwin. Yeah, I've had a couple people ask about that actually. I guess on social media, maybe not YouTube. I don't know if I've said that on here yet, but I use BetterHelp, which has been amazing. They paired me with this awesome therapist named Darwin. He's like super straightforward. He doesn't say much, but he like gives me the best life advice and examples, and it works really well. So yeah, definitely recommend that to anybody. So now I'm here working, trying to get LLC filed for a new business venture I've got starting up. Doing some invoicing, probably gonna work on some YouTube, and yeah, just waiting to hear back from some truckers picking up a couple machines for me. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'll show you kind of what I'm looking at, and won't go too much because I don't want to give you guys too much information, so no one steals my ideas. But pretty much because I wake up so late every day, a lot of my meals get pushed back into later in the night. So this is what I have right now: just 33-grain protein shake and an apple, and then I'll grab something else for dinner, which will be like chicken or rice or something. So yeah, we're gonna keep working, keep slaving away.